What is up there, everybody? Citrus Aviation here with yet another video, and today we have the 700 subscriber special. I know this video is going up real late, but that's because, life and arrangements and such take a while. But today we have AS Aviation on the show.
What's going on, guys?
Alrighty, so he has a fantastic channel. I've been following him since 2015 when, you had like 200, 500 subs, somewhere in that range at the time.
Exactly, yeah. Around 400 or 500 back then, yeah.
Yeah, great channel. Go check him out. Link again will be in the description and the description. Just as always with the show. So this show will be the typical style that I normally do this, where we interview him, we ask some questions, and he gives great answers. So we're gonna get started here with the very first one. This is the question I've done for everybody, and very important one. How did you get interested in aviation?
So aviation, I remember from a very young age, whenever I flew with family, of course, on family trips, all the time I would go to the, convenience store at the airport, like Hudson News, whatever, get like a little toy airplane, whatever. But I didn't get like really interested into aviation until 2010. It was a flight on board a PIA 777 from Chicago to Barcelona, and then Barcelona to Lahore, Lahore to Karachi. That was the flight that sort of instilled my, interest in aviation. So it was from then on that I've just been into aviation ever since then.
Alrighty, that's very cool. I really like seeing how people's stories into aviation have impacted them. So, second question. What was your first flight?
So my first flight, this one's actually, I'm not entirely sure because if I remember correctly, my first ever flight might have been when I was just a few months old. When I was living in Hawaii, I was born in Hawaii, and I lived there for the first few months of my life. If I remember correctly, my first flight was on a Hawaiian Airlines Boeing 717-200 from Honolulu to somewhere on the Big Island. I think it was either Kona or Lihue. It was one of those two cities, but it was from Honolulu to the Big Island on a 717 Hawaiian Airlines, from what I can remember.
Alright, that's very cool. Definitely different than what almost everybody else has said. So, yeah, cool. Third, we have who or what inspired you to start taking pictures of aircraft or videos?
So, I didn't get into the, taking pictures, plane spotting hobby until I think 2013 maybe. And I think just growing up, when I was a kid watching the plane spotting videos and everything, on YouTube, that's kind of what made me want to start doing it for myself. As far as taking pictures go, I think ever since I got Instagram, maybe 2013, 14, I wanted to try out aviation photography. So just looking at other people's work sort of inspired that.
Yeah. Okay, I forgot to include this question, but what was your very first model aircraft?
My very first, so I've had from a young age, I always had a bunch of like those little like Darren toy planes, but I think my very first scale model was, I think it was a Model Power. Model Power is like a really weird, obscure model company. It was a 1:250 scale TWA Boeing 307. I still have it. I got that in 2011 from some model shop, not really a model shop, like a toy store in Karachi. So of all places, somehow I got my first scale model there. And I got that along with two others. I got it with I think it was a 1:250 scale BA de Havilland Comet. That was a really cool model. It sadly broke, I don't have it anymore. But the TWA Boeing 307 straighter liner, I still have that model. And I showed it in a few of my collection videos in the past too.
Very cool, yeah. Model Power, for those interested, they kind of do a lot of things. They do model trains, what they're most known for, but they've done like cars, aircraft, just a bunch of random things. Yeah. So who or what inspired you to start making YouTube videos?
So my first ever time being on YouTube, my first YouTube channel was actually 2011, and that was just mostly like model plane videos. I deleted that one, and then I restarted the channel that soon became this channel in 2012. But just growing up watching a bunch of model reviews and plane spotting videos, and rail fanning, that was like, I was just like, I want to try this for myself. So, you know, YouTubers like, some of them aren't even around anymore. I think Captain 388 was one I used to watch a lot. There was Gemini Jets 333, obviously, AA5777. What's that guy? Lone Warrior 6, he was another YouTuber I used to watch a lot. So these guys, I'm sure a bunch of other people watching this know them as well. They were some of the main driving factors behind me wanting to create my own videos.
Yeah, they were really good, and Gemini Jets 333 was the original one for me, but yeah, he's very good. So for a long time you went between several different names, and eventually you settled on the name AS Aviation. Why did you pick that name, and what is the significance of it?
So AS is actually, it's really weird. It just stands for Amtrak Spotter. And I know you were there when you were subscribed to the channel back when in 2015, that was the name of the channel, Amtrak Spotter HD. So I think AS Aviation, it's kind of a bit more simple, and then it just AS Aviation is that's basically what it is, Amtrak Spotter Aviation. Even though it doesn't really, the channel's not really that much about trains anymore. It still does incorporate trains every now and then, but it's just mainly more aviation now. So I thought it was, you know, a move just to put aviation in the name.
Yeah, also by the way, just comment, great content on your Amtrak, how COVID has affected Amtrak video. Go check it out, link in the description, upload card up top too. So yeah, a good video. And yeah, that is, I remember that. I really like your channel name, and I think it makes a lot of sense for you. So, next up, what makes your channel unique from other aviation YouTubers?
So there's a lot of things that I believe sets my channel apart from others. I think the first one is sort of the diverse amount of content, like trip reports to plane spotting to airport updates to aviation news to this kind of stuff. Just a big range of videos that I think is unique. And then also the editing style that I incorporate into the trip reports. You don't really see that particular style in any other, you know, YouTuber. I think it's just unique to this channel, and it's actually inspired a bunch of other people, like Aviation MCO, for example, with their trip reports. So that's one thing. And then another thing is that I feel like there's a lot of, I know a lot of things about different airlines, fleets, and, you know, just the histories, and I just know a lot about worldwide aviation, things that most people might not know. So I think that all this knowledge of various airlines around the world and just the content is what sets me apart from other YouTubers.
One thing I think makes your channel very unique is you cover Middle East and Asian carriers quite a bit, more than what a lot of other people do, because you are very familiar with that region of the world.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. For those interested in starting their own YouTube channel or growing their own YouTube channel, what would you recommend to them?
So starting a YouTube channel growing a YouTube channel, it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of time. I have been on this channel for actually over 8 years now, which doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it's just, it takes time to get to where you want to be. Obviously, some people, they will grow at different rates than other people. For example, you know, some people have been on YouTube for 5 years, they're already at 1 million subscribers. Some people have been on YouTube for 10 years, they're still at maybe 6,000, 7,000. Some people have been on YouTube for maybe less than a year, they already have maybe 1 million. So everybody grows at a different sort of rate. I think if you just gotta realize that most people, they're not going to become famous overnight. They're not going to have 1,000 subscribers or, you know, 100 views per video just overnight. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes perseverance, it takes, you got to grind on these videos. You got to, you know, work hard to get to where you want to be. And sometimes it might get discouraging. Sometimes you might not get the attention on a video that you want, but that's just part of YouTube. That's how YouTube rolls nowadays, sadly. But yeah, bottom line, you just got to be patient with it. You got to try to have fun with it, and you'll enjoy it. 8 years have flown by for me, and I've enjoyed almost, you know, most of it.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% agreed on all that. Yeah. So here's a question. I didn't include this, but how do you get the ideas for some of your videos?
So the ideas for some of my videos, that's a good question. I think about have other people made videos on this. I think about, how common is the topic. For example, how COVID has affected rail travel, or how, regional airports have been affected by COVID. I didn't see many videos on those topics specifically. So for example, that's what, inspired me to make those kind of videos.
You did the Pakistan airspace closing a while back. That
Exactly.
video did really
Right,
well.
yeah. That one, I didn't see many videos on, and that was a topic that I was sort of familiar with. I thought it would be cool if I made a video on it, and just to show, how big of a deal it was. If that not many people thought it was that big of a deal, but making that video kind of showed that how much of a deal it was. So it just comes down to how common is this sort of topic. To have other people made this video, and if I do upload this video, how much attention is it going to get? Because if it's like a really common topic, chances are most people have already heard of it, so they probably won't watch it. If it's a very sort of new topic, a very unique topic, chances are more people are going to want to watch it because they don't know about it. Like my most recent video, the Virgin Atlantic New Routes to Pakistan one, that's fairly new news. Came out, I think August 27th was the announcement. So it's fairly fresh news, not many people know about it, so that's, again, not many people know about it, so I thought it would be perfect to make.
Good answer right there. How do you edit and make your videos and slant thumbnails?
Yeah. This is a question I get a lot. I haven't paid a penny for my video editing software or Photoshop software. It actually comes built into my computer. So for Mac users, iMovie comes built into Mac computers. Preview is the photo editing software that I use. It comes built into all Mac computers. So iMovie is how I edit my videos. All of my videos have been edited on iMovie on the computer, and it doesn't sound like a really, complex video software, but once you sort of uncover some of the, once you sort of figure out some of the cool features of it, it's an absolute gem. I think it's underrated editing software for sure. It's got a lot of cool effects you can do, and the videos might not come out super professional, but it's a really good software. I really like using it. And then as for my thumbnails, the Preview application, which comes built into all Mac computers, I use that for my thumbnails. It's taken some practice, but I've gotten the hang of it, making all the thumbnails from there.
Very nice, yeah. And like all that is free for anyone who owns a Mac computer, so that's really good. On Windows, there are lots of options like free websites and stuff, so you can do that sort of thing. Or I know Red River Aviation likes to use a software called Shotcut. You can edit for free on that. So if you're a Windows user, go check that out. If you're a Mac user, go check out what AS Aviation recommended. So yeah. Next question, what camera gears do you use?
So the main camera that I have is the Sony DSC HX400V. It's about, I think it's a $400 camera. I got it about 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, and it's fairly decent. It shoots pretty good quality. It doesn't go up to 4K, it only goes up to 1080p 60, but it shoots really good video. Pictures are also pretty good, and that's the main camera that I use for plane spotting and airport updates, trip reports, whatever. I also have the Sony Handycam HDR CX240. I got that one about 5 years ago. Used to be my main camcorder, now it's sort of a backup camera now. So that one eventually mostly got replaced by the HX400V that I got about 3 years ago. Also, sometimes I'll use my phone, the iPhone XR, for various videos, and then also almost a year ago, I got the GoPro Hero 5, but I didn't get it to work until just a few months ago. So I haven't been able to use it in videos up until just a month or two ago. But yeah, those are the main cameras that I have.
Okay, yeah, particularly with the current situation, we'll call it, going around, you can't really exactly fly very far.
Not much, no.
Yeah. Anyway, looking forward to seeing you use it in future trip reports. Yeah, so, how do you manage your upload schedule with work, school, and other things?
Yes. To be completely honest, my upload schedule is very inconsistent. I usually try to avoid uploading on Fridays and Saturdays. Just historically, I've never really had good luck on Fridays or Saturdays with uploading videos. So usually what I try to do is I just upload on weekdays maybe. How do I manage it though? Basically, just work and school comes first. School, obviously, I try to get my work done with school first before even moving to video editing or shooting a video. So usually it's just, in terms of priorities, it's just school first. Work, I don't really, because of the school year right now, I only work on weekends and maybe a few hours in the evening after school. But school is the main priority, and that actually takes up a lot of time right now. So I usually do find about an hour or two, maybe a few hours set aside every day for editing or shooting videos. So yeah, it all comes down to how busy I am. But I don't have a very set YouTube uploaded schedule like other YouTubers may have, which is, I think I should probably make one. I don't know. You can take that either way.
That's alright. So for those who are looking to make a schedule, one thing I always recommend is obviously do what you need to in life first, like your school and work, as AS Aviation mentioned there. But one thing you can do is set times that you'll record or that you'll post a video. So let's say you're doing say twice a week. So
Exactly.
pick the days that you're going to post. And another thing is, some of the things is you can make some videos, if you want to call them filler videos, but videos that you know are going to do well in the algorithm regardless. And then if you run out of time to make another video, you can just post that video up and it can do really well.
Very true.
So yeah, I always try to keep at least 1 or 2 video backlog, which is why I'm recording this on Sunday, and it'll be going up on either Wednesday or Friday. So yeah, I try to record in advance. Usually you want to record at least a few days in advance, but yeah, find something that works for you. Make a calendar, do something that works. Whatever works for you guys works. I know I've had some people guest on in the past that have had some good suggestions. If you want to go check those interviews out, it really helps me out with the algorithm, so please do that.
For sure, I need to take some of those tips for myself. I think it'd really help.
Alrighty, so next up, what is your favorite airline and why?
This is a pretty hard question. I don't really have a favorite airline, to be honest. I think it's sort of a three-way tie for me between Turkish, Qatar Airways, and Etihad Airways. I think just because the best sort of flights that I've been on have been from those 3 airlines. Obviously, American is an airline I fly a lot. I think it's the airline I've been on the most. But I wouldn't really say it's my favorite airline. I don't really have one. It's just, like I said, a three-way tie between Turkish, Qatar, and Etihad. But if you want to talk about favorite liveries, again, it's probably a tie between Qatar and Etihad, because I really like Qatar's livery, and I really like Etihad's old livery as well, on the 777 to be exact.
Yeah, those airlines have great liveries. I'm particularly a fan of Etihad's, new livery. Now 6 years old, but
For
quote, new livery. I really like that. Great design.
Is it 6 years old already? Wow.
Yeah, came out 2014. It came out almost the same time that the new Southwest livery did. Same month.
Yeah, a lot of new liveries came out that year.
Yeah.
Spirit also, right?
Yeah, the banana bus.
Yes. Crazy, it's been 6 years. That does not feel like, it feels like it came out just 2-3 years ago. It's
I know, right?
insane.
Time's just flying by. So, a relationship question very similar to the previous one. What is your favorite aircraft and why?
Alright, now this one, easy for me. The Boeing 777 is my favorite sort of aircraft family, but my favorite particular plane is the 777-300ER. And for me, it's just the 777 is a plane that I've been on many times, and it's the plane that kind of got me into aviation in the first place. But in terms of why, besides that, it looks like such a cool plane. The 777-300ER, obviously you just look at it, it's such a beautiful looking plane. The engines, of course, the GE 9115B engines, probably the best engine out there right now. It sounds amazing, and just the overall plane, it just looks incredible. I guess it's just, I can't really describe why it's my favorite, but there you have it.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% agreed. Yeah, great aircraft. It's in my probably top 5 as well. Second favorite wide body for me, behind the 787. So yeah, great aircraft. So we mentioned the country of Pakistan a few times, and so this question here is interesting. Why is Pakistan such a significant country? 'Cause I know most people just think of it as flyover country, or they don't even know the country exists. But why is it significant to you?
Brilliant question. So, for those that don't know, I have Pakistani, not ancestry, but I am Pakistani. I'm American born, obviously, but my family is from Pakistan. My dad was born there. He grew up there. Then he immigrated to the U.S. in the late 90s. My mom was born there, but she actually came to the U.S. when she was really little, so she actually grew up in New York City. But yeah, my family is from Pakistan, and it's just a significant country to me because obviously growing up I've visited quite a few times, and I've just come to really love it there. I enjoyed it every single time. And part of what I'm trying to do with this YouTube channel is, trying to show the good part of it, what it actually is like through aviation, because of course aviation is what this channel is all about. And I've sort of done that with the Karachi model airport, the Lahore model airport, sort of educating people like what goes on there, because most of the time you don't really hear many good things about Pakistan in the media. So most of the time that's just not the case. It's a perfectly fine country. When I've been there, it's been amazing. I know for a fact it's had its tough times for sure. I was there when times were bad. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. When I was there, when I was little especially, it was not a good place to be. It was a pretty dangerous place. But in recent years, the situation's gotten way better. It's become way safer, and it's just a beautiful country, man. When you visit it, when you visit the people, meet the people, just see the sights of it, it's just a beautiful country, and it's just, I feel like it's one of the more underrated ones out there, and that's just why it's so significant. It's part of makes me who I am. It makes up my identity, so I feel like I just want to share it with the world how much I appreciate it for the part it's played in making me the guy I am today.
All right, that is very cool. So yeah, go check out AS Aviation for all the coolest unknown Pakistani aviation. Go check him out. He's got good stuff there. I really like interviewing interesting people and finding interesting things about them. So,
For sure.
Next up we have, how do you choose the flights that you take?
So, whenever I'm traveling alone, which is not a lot, I've only traveled alone twice before. But actually, let's just forget about that. Basically, usually I just travel with family. Almost always I travel with family to go visit other family members or just family trips. So the main driving factor is the schedule, the timings of the flight, because I have a family of 5. Well, I don't have my own family. I have, my parents and my 2 sisters. Total, we're a family of 5. So we always consider the schedules of the flight. How early is this flight leaving? What time of day? When do we have to get to the airport? Because keep in mind, you have to get to, like an airport like Chicago O'Hare, for example, you got to get there at least 2-3 hours before the flight leaves. It is a pretty busy airport, especially now with COVID. You got to get there even earlier in case stuff happens. So the main driving factor is the time of day when the flight leaves, so that we can plan out, do we get breakfast before we leave? What time do we got to wake up? What time do we get ready, packed up, all that good stuff. So that's one thing. Second thing is how I choose it, because I'm the main person who looks up the flights for my family. Whenever we need to go to New York or wherever, I'm the one that has to look up the flights. So I usually look at the aircraft. If there's any interesting planes that are operating the route, then I try to see if we can do it. That's another way. And then going back to the time thing, especially because a lot of the trips that we take are to visit family. Like New York, I'm always in New York. I go to New York maybe once or twice a year to visit my grandparents and most of my mom's family over there. So we also take into account what time is our flight going to land at LaGuardia or JFK or Newark. It can't be landing way too late at night, for example. It shouldn't land maybe after 9 p.m. because that'll just get a bit too late. So we usually just try to look at flights that are coming into New York maybe around 1 p.m. or just a little bit in the morning, or at a pretty convenient time for our family members to come pick us up. So to conclude the question, the first thing is to look at the timings of the flight, and then also the aircraft type, if there's anything special about it. If there's a cool plane operating the flight we want to take, we go ahead and do it.
Alrighty. No, that's a great answer. It's also really cool that you get to have a decision in which aircraft you get to fly on. So, what airport that you haven't spotted at or traveled through would you like to spot at or travel through?
So I think some of the airports that I mentioned aren't really airports that many people would think of. The first one airport that really comes to mind is Manchester, UK. Because if you've seen the spotting videos from Manchester, that spotting location is brilliant, if you know what I'm talking about. The close-up views
Park one?
of the takeoffs. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. I think that's a super epic location. So Manchester's definitely a cool airport to spot at. The main reason I would have said was because of the Virgin Atlantic 747s and A340s. Obviously those are gone now, so that's pointless. But PIA is pretty big at Manchester too, so that was another reason. So yeah, Manchester's a really cool airport. Another one, there's actually a lot of airports. Manchester's one of them. If I could choose another one, obviously St. Martin comes to mind. I think we all know why St. Martin is an airport. Everybody probably wants to spot there, at least once in their life. Toronto Pearson's another cool one. I love Toronto. I'm a Raptors fan, as you know, so Toronto's a really cool airport I would love to spot at one day. And then, yeah, a bunch others, but I don't want to waste too much time for you.
Okay. So, how do you choose when or where to spot at?
So let's talk about Chicago O'Hare for this example. When we're talking about how do I choose when to spot at? I just look at the schedule. For example, at Chicago O'Hare, the good stuff like the international heavies and everything, those usually start to come in. The heavy rush back in normal times, at least, it would usually start around 1:30 p.m. and would last until maybe 3:30, and then there would be a second rush that would start around 5:30, last till around 7:30. So usually, if I wanted to catch those arrivals, I would plan to go around 1:30 to go spot those. Sometimes it didn't really work. There's still a lot of planes that I haven't seen at O'Hare that I would love to see, but when we're talking about how do I choose when to spot it, I just look at Flight Radar 24, look at the arrival board and the departure board. When are the cool planes, the noteworthy planes that are worth catching? When are those arriving or departing? So that's how I determine when to go there. When we're talking about where to spot at, for an airport like Chicago O'Hare, a huge airport, there are a variety of spotting locations, but the downside is there's a lot of places that you could get into trouble with the police, for example. So I usually just go off of what other people say. There's a bunch of locations at O'Hare that are, perfectly fine to spot at. Like there's one where you can get these overhead shots of arrivals. There's another one where it's literally right there, at the cargo center for the airport. I haven't been there personally, but I've seen a bunch of people go there. The planes go right past you on the runway. But yeah, I just look at the spot where police is not an issue because you don't want to get in trouble with the police. I've had that happen while spotting twice. As a matter of fact, it happened to me about 2 weeks ago at Champaign Airport. Of all airports, I got questioned by a police officer. So I try to go to the spots where interactions with law enforcement are not common, because it's very uncomfortable getting questioned, because plane spotting is a hobby that not many understand still, rightfully so, because it's a pretty unique hobby. So just where to spot at, I just look at where the most people are, and if it's a safe location, if it's a accessible location, and overall if it gets you a good vantage point of the aircraft and the airport.
Yeah, now that's a great answer, because I know that a lot of people do things that are risky or even illegal, so don't do that.
For sure, man. No way.
Yeah, and there's a spot at DSM that I spot at. I've had in the most recent spotting vlog that I recorded, the Southwest Classic one, and that spot you have to call airport ops, or else you probably get kicked out there.
How about that Delta 767 though? Was that at the parking garage today?
Yeah, that was at the parking garage today.
Okay.
Yeah, the one I just recorded today, that video will probably have been up by the time I put up this video. But yeah, that was a great spot. And that was at the South Garage. Yeah. That is technically the only quote-unquote official spot you're allowed to spot at, but there are a few other places you can go to as well. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool.
Yeah. And if you became the CEO of Gemini Jets today, what changes would you make?
Well, That's a tough one because there's a lot of stuff that, Gemini is a company, very well known, infamous, and also famous at the same time. They were in a slump recently, obviously, with their quality issues, and obviously some of that is still continuing. Some of their models are coming broken, but you have to admit they have improved quite a lot. I am very surprised by how much they have improved. They've actually listened to their customers, surprisingly, and the quality of their models has somewhat improved, so that's really, really good to see. So in terms of quality, I think they're doing fine. Maybe the one thing I would change are the molds. For example, back in 2012, 2013, we had their Airbus, A320 mold, 737 mold, 777 molds. They were really good back then. So if we could just take those molds, maybe make them a one-piece mold, not the cradle wing mold that they have right now. If we can just take those molds, sort of modernize them a little bit, add those antennas and the SATCOM dishes, whatever, that's probably a change I would make. We just need to update those molds because everybody is getting annoyed at those, especially with the 777, the two-piece mold, the wing cradle thing. It's getting kind of old and annoying, especially when other companies like NG and Phoenix, they're one-piece molds. So just the main change I would make is just to update the molds for the models. I think everybody would agree with me on that.
Yeah. And one of the interesting things that a lot of people forget about is that Gemini actually had a really good high detail A320 mold. They used it for about 2015 to
Yes.
early 2017. You probably have some of those, like the JetBlue A320s that made in that era. Those were really nice. I think they were one-piece mold. But the nice thing about them is the engines were the right size. The pieces didn't fall apart or anything. They were really good. So Gemini Jets, I don't know why in 2017 you decided to put Neo engines on everything.
Yes.
But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I just realized. Yeah, it was a one-piece mold. You're right. I just realized that.
Mm-hmm.
They need to bring it back. I don't know why they got rid of it.
Yeah, that's the rant I'll do in a video coming soon.
Yes, please.
Anywho. We have just a few more questions left, and this one's one I really enjoy asking people. Would you consider a job in the aviation industry?
Well, aviation has been a huge part of my life, and I would definitely love to consider a job. My parents are obviously really open, surprisingly, considering this a common stereotype for South Asians is that our parents want all their kids to become, a doctor, engineer, or lawyer. That's the only three options as a South Asian kid. But my parents, surprisingly, they are actually quite supportive of whatever I want to do in the future. I personally am not sure. I was planning to go the route of becoming a doctor. I don't know if I'll do that because, for one, it's a pretty tough road. But if I was to consider a job in aviation, air traffic controller would be a super cool job because, number one, it's just an incredible job being up in the tower, seeing the airport from that vantage point. It's a stressful job, but it's an absolutely incredible job. And then furthermore, the salary is not bad either. Another job is, of course, a pilot. I kind of had that thought of becoming a pilot at some point. Haven't really thought much about that, but maybe if I do find some time in the near future, I might start working towards my PPL, private pilot's license, maybe. Not saying it'll happen, but it'll be cool. And then aircraft mechanic or whatever, that's another cool one. Seeing how the mechanics do the C checks and the aircraft retrofitting and all that stuff. That looks really interesting too. So those are three jobs that if I get the opportunity, I might consider those.
Yeah, and particularly for an aircraft mechanic, there's huge demand for that. So
For sure.
yeah.
Incredible job.
So we have two more questions, and the first one is, how has YouTube changed your life?
One way YouTube's changed my life is that it has, helped me become more tech savvy, I think. Without YouTube, I would never have discovered iMovie or Preview, and I would not have the video editing skill that I have now. So without YouTube, that would not be there. So YouTube has really helped me in that sense. It's really helped me become, really good at video editing, which without it, I would never have been like that. And as a matter of fact, just earlier this year, a few months ago, my friend and I, we actually won second place in the entire state of Illinois for digital video production in some sort of high school organization. So we got second place in the whole state in digital video production. And I have to attribute the success to YouTube. Without YouTube, I would never have been able to do it, because when I started using iMovie, that was to make YouTube videos, and had I not had the YouTube channel, that just would never have happened. So that's just the main thing I can think of, how YouTube has changed my life.
Very nice, yeah. And the final question we have here is, where do you see yourself in 5 years, and what is the future of your channel?
Well, in 5 years, I would hopefully be, what year is it, 2020, right? So 5 years, hopefully, I'll have graduated from college, undergrad, by then. Not sure if hopefully I'll graduate from college, let's see. But I see myself surprisingly still here in Champaign, Illinois, assuming I, go to the university here. But in 5 years, I just see myself, still being a student at college, working towards a higher degree or something. I don't see myself being a super, a professional job or anything. Not sure if I'll be married by then. I have no idea what my parents are thinking right now. Maybe I'll be married in 5 years. I don't know. Hopefully not. We'll see how much freedom I got left. But for now, all I can say is in 5 years, I just see myself still as a student, still working on that, on education and working towards a higher degree. As for the future of my channel, I've thought about this a lot. People have asked me, are you going to leave YouTube when college gets hard on you, or what's going to happen? I don't plan on leaving YouTube. I plan to keep this channel forever, I guess, because in case, in the future, if I ever have a family of my own, I want to show them this is what I did back in the day. This is what I used to do. And also I've just spent way too much time on this channel. I've spent too many hours making videos, too much effort on the videos. I've put in way too much work to let it all go. So there's definitely no way I'll be leaving the channel. But as far as uploads go, I don't know how to answer that. I'm not sure how consistent I'll be with uploads in the future, but I will definitely be keeping it. And I have, in the near future especially, I got plenty of amazing new ideas and videos planned. So in the near future, I have a bunch of great videos planned, and I'm hopeful that I'll be able to share them with you guys. But yeah, my channel is going to be around for a while, for those that are wondering.
Alrighty, excellent, and we're looking forward to those upcoming videos. So yeah, thank you very much, AS Aviation, for coming on the show today. It was great having you on. And for those of you who want to see more guests, comment below who you want to see next. I'll take a look at those. I have one more person lined up for the 800 subscriber special. Really excited for that. And then we'll be getting some more people on for future shows. Thank you guys so much for supporting this series, and for the creators who come on here and make this series possible. Thank you, AS Aviation, for coming on. And do you have any final departing words you want to say?
I just want to say thank you, Citrus, so much. This was an incredible opportunity. I have never been interviewed like this before, for YouTube videos. This was incredible. I love what you're doing with this series. It is absolutely amazing. Keep up the good work. I cannot wait to see this video when you edit it. It's going to be incredible. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I just hope you all who are watching this, if you guys made it this far in the video, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you so much, Citrus, once again for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for coming on. If you guys are still watching, drop a 7 in the chat. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. God bless you. Goodbye.